Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the N-Central Release Roundup version 2025.4. I am Marc-Andre, Senior Manager for the Head Nerds team, and will be your host today. So for today's little video, we are going to cover this by going through a few preface and new things that you guys should be looking at. We're then gonna go into the new features and cover a few things around the APIs, around HaloPSA and Autotask integration. And we're going to finish with talking about what's new with the Assets View and N-Central. So let's get started. What I'm going to do is go through a couple things that I think are important to mention, but not necessarily very specific to this release. So the first one is going to be around the Enable SSO. So if you are not using the Enable SSO or MSP SSO or Enable Login, whichever term you're used to hearing from us recently, what you're going to want to do is make sure that you go and turn that on for all your users. If you're not sure whether you're using it or not, what you can do is in N-Central, you can go to your identity provider and their users. And if you see MSP SSO here or MSP SSO with Entra, you know that you're using it already, so you're good to go. But you will want to make sure that all your active users are switched over to this. There is a great support article and other documentation on how to do that, but you're going to want to switch them. Why is it so important? Is that all the new features like Assets View, Vulnerability Management, the new Tag Management that we're going to show later in this video are all dependent on this. So if you're not using MSP SSO yet, you're going to want to do so. Now, if you are using Entra ID already, you can switch over to MSP SSO with Entra ID support. So you're going to want to make sure that you set that up again and you transition your users to it to make it seem more seamless for them to move over. Next thing that I'm going to talk about as well is that we are in the process of deprecating our old legacy SOAP v1 APIs. So if you are still using the SOAP EI API, those are being deprecated in 25.4. If you are using an on-premise version of N-Central, you are still able to use them. However, you will need to turn that on into your network settings of the UI. And obviously, we recommend heavily against it. For security reasons, you're going to want to move over to either the SOAP EI2 or the REST APIs to be able to take advantage of the newer functionality. This also applies to the external data feed. You will want to make sure you use the EI2 if you are using the external data feed in your config as well. All right, let's move on to the new stuff. So two things that we have done in this release. First and foremost is tag management. This is a new feature you're going to see under configuration right here. Again, this requires a new SSO to see that. If you go here, you can create static tags that you can then go into your assets view and assign to devices dynamically. So I can come here and very easily select one or more devices. So just check the different boxes and say, I would like to manage tags. And then I can say, I want to add this tag to these two devices. And I would apply that. This will then apply this tag to them, which as we are building out the policy engine and the future of N-Central will allow you to very easily view these. You will see them here as well already, which then allow you to filter on them. But in the future, will allow you to assign up the policies and then be able to do a lot of really cool stuff going forward. The next part of it is our HaloPSA integration that is finally launched. So if you are using the legacy integration, to know if you are, what you can do is in your PS integration, you go to here and you will see it says custom PSA, and then you'll see your HaloPSA link. What you're going to want to do is switch over to HaloPSA natively, put in your information, and then you'll be able to configure all of what you're used to from previous PSA integration natively. So mapping your customers, mapping your device classes, exporting devices instead of having Halo pull them in, and also doing more granular ticketing config. So as you can see here, with the new integration, I am able to come here and choose more fields and more configuration as I need, as I can create more and more of those recipients and have more granularity. So this is new as part of this. We have also enhanced our Autotask PSA integration. So we have moved over in 2025.2 to their newer APIs. And now we are with this release open for full partner adoption. So that will let us moving forward use their more improved workflows in their APIs. So stay tuned for more on that. Few changes that we've done as well. I've already talked about the SSO at the beginning. We have done changes to our SSO integration where you now have the ability to choose how often it will check against your IDP provider for the polling interval for security. It can be set from 1 minute to 1,440 minutes. And you can customize that to your liking. Another option that you now have is you can go in there and say revoke your authentication and log on for everybody, which will then force a log off for all the users using this IDP in N-Central, forcing them to relog in the case that you do need that. This is now an option that you can do. Talking about security, another thing that we have done in the audit log export that has been a part of N-Central for a while now, we have added a lot more audit items in recent months. We have added recently patch management, like patch install and reboots and things like that. We have also added take control logs, so around remote session, edits, and shell commands. We are also adding auditing for the new tag feature, so we'll be able to see who's changing what and when. A couple of things that we have done as well on the assets view. If I come back to that view that I talked about at the beginning, under my assets view, I have the option to come right here. I can click onto a device here in any text without a link. This will bring the information about the device along with a lot of the hardware info, a lot of different metrics over time that I can then filter and change. It's patch information and a variety of different fields. So this is now part of that contextual menu. If you feel some data is missing, you'd like to give us feedback, you want to add different fields here as well, click that share feedback button right here. Tell us what you need. We'll be happy to take that feedback, review what we can. And if you, on that screen, check the box to say, I would like to be contacted, we have the option to contact you to get more information if we do require it. Last thing I'll mention very quickly, we are also working hard on our CMMC level 2 compliance. So stand by for more update in the coming weeks and months as we are working that, and it is going very, very well. So if you have any questions on anything I covered, you're welcome to go to your CSE or your PSC. You are welcome to go to your account manager. You can also email me directly, Marc, M-A-R-C, @m-able.com. We'll be happy to help you out or answer any questions. With that, have a wonderful rest of your day. I hope that was helpful. Thanks.